is you can drive like some of those older formulas where they have the sequential.
Yeah.
And those things are a blast. It gives you new respect for those guys where they're driving a formula car with one hand on the wheel. And you're like, these guys are crazy.
Let me tell you something. Those guys, if you put them behind the wheel of these new cars, forget about it. There's no comparison. They would look at the car and be like, oh, this is too easy. I'm going to take this car and rip the hell out of it.
Yeah. You mean all I got to do is drive and, a little taps
These
on
guys,
here.
hello, and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Jeff Smart. How are you doing today?
Yo, Jason, I have been waiting a couple days to get this recording going. I got myself a shiny new microphone.
I see you.
Hopefully everybody appreciates the little step up in audio here. I've been waiting. Jason's been, talking smack about my audio quality, and, he's such a good influence on my finances that, he finally broke down and got the new Shure mic. So hope everybody appreciates the new sound. I'm pumped. Everybody likes, their gadgets and stuff like that. So I'm no different. So, bro, I'm ready to go. Let's get into it.
Honestly, bro, you didn't sound bad at all in the previous episodes. It's mostly a convenience tool to help with background noise because we're a one team show and I have to edit these, and every time it's always Jeff. And
I know this just like a little humming. I get it.
All right. Well, I highly appreciate you doing that. But today it's just Jeff and I. Eric's at a retreat, and we all need that with the families and stuff like that. So we had a little crazy week this week. So it's just going to be Jeff and I for today. We have a few things. We got quite a few things to go over. So I'm going to start.
I think we got a banger of an episode for everybody this week.
Yeah. So iRacing just started their, I guess, week 1 of their season, their new season, 2024, right? Season 4, right? 2024.
Season 4, yeah.
And they held the iTested event, which is rare, and it's where they do an event that you test out different things for the actual developers. And this time it was a multi-class race. And I'm just going to be real quick about this. I jumped in there, and it's a 3-hour race. And I asked Jeff, I was like, Jeff, can you be a backup
I feel
driver?
like I let you down, but I'm freaking proud of you, dude.
He said, hell no, man. I can't make
it was a Saturday in Hawaii, and I had to spend some time with the fam. It killed me, but I was freaking proud of you, dude. You
thought about it.
Crushed
I thought about it. We had just wrapped up the episode with the Sim Racing Den, which, by the way, thank you so much for coming onto the show. I know you listen to these or you watch them, so we highly appreciate that you coming onto the show, and maybe we can have you again sometime.
Yeah, Michael, dude, it was a blast having you, man. Love shooting, hearing your story and stuff.
An awesome individual, and you go back and you watch his content, and it's just top notch. So highly recommended. If you haven't watched that episode, the previous episode to this one, and we go over a few things with Michael, and it was awesome. But
he's got me drooling over that seatbelt harness, seatbelt tensioner now. I'm freaking drooling over that, dude.
$1,100. I don't know about this $1,100.
Right, steering wheel, no problem. Oh, but something that adds ELSA immersion, no, we got problems with it. He gave us feedback. I trust the dude after spending almost an hour and a half with him. I trust him if he said it was legit.
He's a hell of a salesman.
Wish I could try it out first. Hey, send it to me. Give me a 30-day, no questions asked. Just let me go give it a try, right? I'd love to try it, but I don't know if I'm going to spend, $1,500 to try it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and we'll go over this later. Jeff's actually going to Singapore, but before we spoil that, there might be some sim stuff out there. But before we get to that, the iTested race, real quick, it was 3 hours. And I had a choice. Do I go on a GT3 or do I go on a GT4? And they had just dropped the BMW M4 GT4. And I was like, I really want to race this car because I bought it. And I really haven't really experienced GT4 racing, let alone a multi-class race, let alone a 3-hour race, let alone the track that we were on. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I managed to get P2 on that race in the GT4 class. And our team name is up there, the Chicane Podcast, TGSR. All of it's there. It's in the it's in the histories,
Dude,
right? So
I mean, let everybody just think about that. Doing anything for 3 hours. I mean, watching a movie for 3 hours is a bit much, but sitting there switched on 100%, driving around, 100% focus for 3 hours is impressive. I'm not gonna, me, Jason. We shoot straight with each other. If you're not
right.
impressed, you're not impressed. But that was, I felt bad to leave Leah hanging out to dry. But dude, I was fairly impressed. I was fairly impressed.
You know
No,
what? And
no
I
team.
I I can't, no team solo, but I can't take all the credit because thankfully I was live streaming the whole thing on Twitch. You can check it out on my channel. The race, if you want to skim through it, I won't make you sit through the 3 hours. But there was some people that joined. I had some raiders, people like they raided my stream and they were helping me with strategic pit stops because I didn't know when the pit stop was going to happen. I was just winging it. I was
Just
like, all right,
hammer down, baby.
I'm just gonna drive her to the damn wheels fall off or I run out of gas. So I was running low on gas, losing grip on every single turn. And you got GT3 cars just flying by you on every time. Yeah. Blue flag, blue flag, blue flag. And I'm like, okay, I gotta, and I'm just getting on the side of the road and just flying by me, dude. It was awesome. So yeah, I gained a lot in SR for that event and a lot of iRating. So that brought me up to a B license just by completing that. And then after that, I just kept gunning hard and I managed to score an A license, man. So I'm an A license now in
Dude,
the road
that's
class.
A
Yeah.
license in the road class. Congratulations, buddy. A lot of hard work goes into that. That's not something that just happens overnight. So, proud of you, dude. That's cool.
I
Good for
highly
you.
appreciate that, man. And I know I know how hard it is to get up there, and I know it's not the end, right? You have to maintain this. So it is a reoccurring thing, right? So
How many?
and
Just for the perspective. How many incidents did you have in 3 hours of racing?
so surprisingly, I did really well in this, man. Like it was 121 laps, and each lap I was averaging about a minute 24, right? But you got to count the practice session that was like 30 minutes or something like that, and then pit stops. So I had one incident. I had an off-track incident in lap 70. So I drove 70 clean laps until lap 7.
70 clean laps.
Yeah, 70 clean laps around there. So that's about an hour and change.
Yeah.
And then on lap 92, a GT3 car bumped me on the door, but it was fine. The car skidded a little bit, but I was able to maintain the control and
You
not
just
lose
got
the
the
space.
contact penalty or the incident. Yep.
Yeah, the actually, yes, I did. I did get the X4.
We
Yeah, the
both
4
did. Yeah.
points.
Which
But
is
other
crazy.
than
You get
that,
contact, but don't go off the track. It should be like a 2x or something. But go ahead.
so yeah, it was stressful because that was at lap 92 and I had about maybe 8 laps for the first pit stop. So when I pitted, whatever damage that was on the car just went away and it was very minimal. So I put gas in the car, did not change the tires because of the new crew chief. The new crew chief that we told you about a few episodes back. When I pulled into the pits, he was like left front 70 something, 80%, left right front 80%, whatever. And then he told me the rears. And I was like 80%, huh? And the car felt great. So I, I just I
Let her
said,
rip,
okay,
Tater Chip.
just let her put the gas in the car. Let's go.
Let's go.
Then I pulled in again after about I think another 50 laps. I forget how many laps, 60 laps. And then I did a full tire change. The car changed dramatically. It was like a shit ton of grip, excuse my French. And I just wasn't used to that much grip. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't push the car as hard as I was before because these tires are not worn down. And Jeff and I are used to 15-minute, 20-minute races where you don't even tire wear doesn't even really happen. So to have that much depth in the game for the first time that I've experienced in iRacing, I'm in love with it. I'm a huge freaking I'm telling you, I'm a huge supporter now. I even bought some merch to go with it.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm a trader. And just one more thing on the iRacing portion. The McLaren 720S has been released. On the last episode, we were waiting on it, and they delivered on the Monday that we got the first patch for season 24. So if you season 4, 2024. So if you're waiting for that McLaren and it is amazing, highly recommend.
Yeah, they
S-
I mean, I haven't driven it, but all of my Instagram feed, all over YouTube is videos of, everybody driving it, and it seems like they knocked it out of the park. Is that fair? You've driven a couple laps with it. Is it you think they did well with it?
They did amazing. Uh not only did I drove it a couple of laps, I actually did all my MPR races with it. So I drove it 4 times on the GT3 Fanatec Challenge on the Silverstone,
Oh, it's a
and
good
got
track for it.
yeah, I got really used to her. She's a little on the loose side, but that's because I was racing in a fixed event. I can't wait to race her in an open class. That way I can actually tune the settings on the car and the pressures and the stuff like that. But the sound, the looks, they nailed it. They nailed it. And for
Because we both
$12,
yeah, we
dude,
both drive that car in ACC for the most part. Um,
right.
it just look it I mean, if you when you're coming up to another McLaren, you're just like, "Damn, that's a good looking car." So, yeah, I'm excited to get some I'm going to try to drive a little bit more of the sports car this season. Spread open up a little bit from Formula.
Right. And
Yes.
and I was telling Jeff earlier today, and this is good information for anyone that's new to iRacing. If you're a formula person predominantly, or if you're a GT person, like a sports car person, those tracks are the same. So it really doesn't cost a lot much more money to race over on another class because all you need is the one car or maybe two cars, but all the same, they all share the same track. So it's not like you're going from oval to formula where oval tracks just do not work on sports or formula. So that's just a quick tip for you, just to motivate you to branch out a little bit. I know people want to stick to their series and they want to um increase their license or increase their SR and their rating and get the times down. But once you hit that point, like I'm a class A now, I'm gonna work on my formula side now so that I can grow on the formula side as well.
Yeah, with that said, Jason, I
Yes,
did. Yeah,
let's
I
hear it.
classed. Yeah, after the season ended, I logged in 2 days ago, maybe a couple days ago, and I was surprised that I got switched over. I knew it was. I thought it was coming, but yeah, I got promoted to B license in Formula, so I'm pumped.
Hey.
I don't know if I'm more excited about the B license or the fact that I get the Super Formula lights, those Hondas and the Toyota.
Oh,
Uh, uh,
the SF23, right?
yeah.
SF23.
Oh, dude, those are rocket ships. And you got the
Yeah.
push to pass. So you got to manage that while you're driving. But they're like, I think in the Formula One, they're the first car where you really need to be gentle with the throttle. Like
Right.
like you cannot just hammer down around a corner like you can in an F4 car. You need to gently lay on the throttle around a corner, even in a straightaway. The starts, you can't just hammer the gas. Like that back end will be whoop in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
That will take all of your attention. But to your point, I was like, oh, okay, like I want to race that a ton. There's not a lot of races. I think there's like 2 or 3 a day or an evening, but I do want to get into the sports car thing. I see a bunch of cool racing going on. Jason's been sending me a bunch of Instagram or just text messaging with the GT3 cars, and I think that looks super cool. So I'm going to jump into the sports car on iRacing, and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
It's not my first choice, but honestly, like I just like getting better. Like it
Ye-
doesn't matter necessarily what car it is. Like the trajectory of when I started this iRacing thing a couple months ago, I was like, man, like just trying to figure out that Ray FF16. I remember we raced that one time together. And now to
That
where I
was
am
so
now,
much
it's just
fun,
cool to
dude.
like learn the technique and the cars. And as you get faster cars with downforce. It's just cool. So I'm excited to start that. Um,
Hey,
yeah,
congratulations, man. You
yeah.
really earned that. I mean, he's been trust me, I mean, it's like week by week. It's like you go down some, you go up some, you go down some, you go up some, and then
You know,
eventually you just started going up and up and up and
you
up,
know,
and now you're B class. That's
you
what's
bring up
up.
a good point. You said this when I first started and started like complaining a little bit, I guess is a better word to say about your safety. You start like caring so much about your safety. And I kept saying, I was like, oh, I just want to get like this car. I just want to get my new license so I can drive this car. And you like now that I'm a B, and don't get me wrong, like I've been wanting to drive that new car we were just talking about for a while now. But like Jason, I think you just have to enjoy driving and
Yeah,
the whatever happens to safety. Just
that's it.
it's dude, we put these rigs together so we can drive, not so we can worry about our safety. Like it's
Right.
about this like made up number that dictates how fun we had. It was like maybe like 2 weeks ago that I was like, you know what, I get to drive maybe 2 races a night at the best. Every other night, maybe. If I got kids and a family and responsibilities, so like, what am I worried about this stupid little number? Get in there, hammer down. And I'll be honest, like the C class, those dudes can drive and it's clean, which is I really enjoy the clean. Like I'm not gonna hit somebody, they're not gonna hit me. I go wheel to wheel. I don't have to worry about everybody's gonna if you're showing a tire, they're gonna give you the space. It's cool. But yeah, my recommendation would be like, don't worry about the safety. It's
And it
whatever's
gets
gonna
better.
happen. Just enjoy the process, get better, get faster.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that's my big update. I got one other one. Jason alluded to it. I am leaving in a couple days to head to Singapore for the Singapore GP.
Yay.
Dude, I am so pumped. And I do have to, give my wife a shout out here. She gave it to me for my 40th birthday. And I was like dragging my feet and I'm like, oh, I'll
Dude,
leave you
that's
home with
like
the
wife of the year,
kids.
bro. That's like
Oh,
wife of
right.
the year. Straight up.
And she was like, I was like, this, I'm like, the Star Wars meme, it's a trap. It's a trap. And she was like, you have till Monday. And it was like a Friday to buy your tickets or I'm buying them for you. And I was like,
Wow.
twist my arm, So yeah, so me and a buddy, we're going, using a shit ton of Marriott points, paying for the hotel. Yeah, we got like some sweet, no pun intended, sweet tickets. We're in a suite. Yeah, so it's like Formula One, rubbing elbows with the schmuckies in the open bar, you know, free food, drink, and
Dude,
whatever.
that's
So,
gonna be
dude, I'm pumped. Like, can't wait, can't wait.
I wanna know we're gonna cover this. We're gonna have a special or something. I wanna know day by day details
Yeah,
because it's different. When you watch F1, right? Like you and I were talking about because Jeff and I we actually hang out. We live close to each other, so we'll meet up one day and have a few cocktails and watch like the qualifying race or the actual race. Because we're all the way out here in Hawaii, so
time zones are
to
tough.
to
Yeah,
get a to get a live race here is
it's
really
you got to be
almost
dedicated, like
impossible.
a midnight or 2 a.m. race. Yeah,
Yeah, easily. So it's really difficult. And when we're hanging out, it's kind of like, okay, we watched the event and that's it. But when you look at the itinerary of what goes on the F1 event, it's like all day. It's like you mentioned, what is it? You mentioned like a concert, like
yeah. So
artists coming out.
they got a Porsche Carrera Cup. They have
The other classes too, F2
F
and
F.
F3.
So I don't think all the F2 and threes race, but there's another Formula race. Then there's obviously the F1. But like at night, dude, there's like world like One Republic, Lenny Kravitz are playing after the race and stuff. Like people that
Yeah.
go to concerts go to see these things, not like, and then you get the race. Like there's just yeah. So dude, I'm like, it's super cool to go out there and experience different culture, different, part of the world and stuff. So I'm excited to go out there, see all the food. They say like 5 of the top 20 bars in the world are in Singapore. So
Oh
I will
wow.
go partake and I will make sure that those are worthy of a top 5 in the world bar.
We need a
Uh,
full report
but
back,
yeah,
Jeff.
dude, I'll be sending you pictures and stuff.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I can't wait. 17 hours in a plane. I take off on Monday, land on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Small price to
So
pay. Nobody's
it
feeling bad for me that's listening to this.
actually imagine people that fly out from the US or from the UK or trying to
Yeah.
go to Singapore. We're the closest thing to Singapore. in the US that you can get. I mean, other than Guam, and Guam's kind of like a territory, it's not really a state.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So enjoy yourself. We're not gonna have Jeff on a we're possibly we don't know what's gonna happen, but we may not have him on the episode. We talked about having him doing a remote recording, but to be honest with you, I want you to take this time for yourself and enjoy the gift that your wife gave you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like for
I
real.
do, man. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Like you soak it all up, like take it all in because it's a once in a that's kind of like you're 40 years old. I'm almost 40 myself. And it's like I've never been to like an event that big, you know what I mean, in my entire life. And to be able to have the chance to go to it, it's like, dude, you need to keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
pumped. I'm pumped. So we'll give a loadout. We'll give a portion of that next episode when I come back, and let
Hell
everybody know
yeah.
how it was.
Yes, and I'm gonna need some merch too. Of
I'll
course,
hook
I'm
you up, bud. I
paying.
already got something. Nah, we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. If anybody, hey, this is a good one. If anybody has questions for Jeff, for anything that happened during that GP in Singapore, the Grand Prix for the F1 race, or anything related to the event, send us an email at the chicanepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to cover that. We'll give that to Jeff and he'll cover that. He got your back. So
For sure.
that is uh, a big portion of our coverage. I will want to mention one thing before we get into the actual discussion portion. Uh, is the Global iRacing League, Porsche Cup League started uh, on Thursday.
Vlad, let's
Yes,
go, buddy. Vlad, let's go,
Vlad,
man.
aka V Lad, that's what he goes by.
Yeah.
I listen. I just want to give a shout out to Vlad V Lad, aka the GOAT. He has been taking care of me. He sent me the rule, dude. Their rules. I'm gonna send you a copy of these rules, Jeff. You got to see this. It was like 20 something pages that
No
I had to
kidding.
scroll. It was like FIA level, and I was like, wait a minute. Where do I sign? Is there an NDA? Do I sign something? What's going on? So, long story short, I go in there on a Thursday, right? Because that's when it was going down, and it was at the Red Bull Ring in a Porsche 992 that has no traction control and no ABS, right? And I'm like,
He did
okay,
say, if you can drive that car, you can drive anything. So go ahead.
he did, and I went and I challenge accepted, right? Jeff and I purchased that car, and we've been banging laps on that car all day, so we could definitely handle it. Caveat: it started to rain at the Red Bull Ring. And none of us were prepared for that. I didn't have a setup. I didn't know what the fuel was going to be like. I didn't know what the suspension was going to be like. I was freaking out. And I'm live on Twitch. Again, you can go and check the stream. And still 40 cars on track at the Red Bull Ring. We did a super heats. It's a 3 event,
It's a
right?
cool setup how they have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a three event. So we had the 10 minute, 15 minutes, and then a 20-minute. And here's the thing: you need to change the fuel on the car. So I'm over here, right, and I'm talking to the chat. Thank God, the chat, the people, they were helping us out.
It's like, what's that thing?
Vlad was like, dude, he was like,
Phone a friend type of thing. Yeah.
he told me 20, 27, 34. I was like, got it. I was like, Eric, write that shit down. I'm gonna forget that. So 10 minutes goes by, right? We go in. No, actually, we were practicing for like an hour, and then 10 minutes, and then we get off the track, and it's raining, and there's people crashing, and all kind of stuff, and stunts, and sparks are flying everywhere. And I'm like, this is gonna be just effed up, the whole thing. So we start the race, and it was actually surprisingly a good experience. Like the guys there are very respectful. They race, they allow space, they apologize, they have a Discord open. It's great. And then race, the second heat started, and I have to use the bathroom. And they're like, "You got 20 seconds to get on grid and to refuel the car." And I'm scrolling up, and Eric's nowhere to be found. I'm like, Eric, where'd you go? And he's like, I'm on the phone. And I was like, damn it, I don't know how much gas this car needs. So I put 25 liters of fuel in the car. It was really 27 I should have put. So I'm freaking out the whole second the second part of the heats. I'm freaking out lap by lap. I'm like, I'm looking at the car. Can I turn down the freaking engine map? Can I just drive her slow? What can I do? Can I coast? What am I supposed to do? It was fine. The car made it, and then the third heat happened, and I ended up P16 out of 40 drivers. I'm really proud of that, especially for a car that it's only been like 2 weeks that I've driven the car,
That car's a
and
handful.
it's a handful. Let me tell you something, but it does teach you something. It teaches you to not rely on the aids. If you
Yeah.
can do the technique, it's like you can drive anything. It doesn't matter. The aid doesn't, other than the TCS. TCS is really helpful because you can hammer the gas. If you do that on this car, bro, it's gonna get pissed off.
Yeah.
And at some point, she's gonna say no to you and she's gonna go left or right.
Yeah,
I
it, it,
swear.
it keeps your attention. That car, it's a handful.
Yeah, so we spoke to the after the excuse me, after the race, the guys invited me over to the Discord channel, say hello to the admin. They are a family. It's like a very welcoming environment. I highly recommend if you are worried about bad driving and you just want to maintain your safety, or you just looking for a great place to spend a day or spend not even a day, it was like an hour. If you want to just get a nice race with a great group of people and not worry about your I rating going down or your safety going down, just go in there and sign up for a race. That's all I got to say about it. It's an amazing experience. Um, and again, the admins, you can message them. Vlad is on there. Also, Adam Schmidt was a big help, and they provide links. They hook you up. You can even there's a point system just like the F1. Same thing how the F1. I think I got like 16 points for this race or something like that. And if you can't make it one race or whatever, I think you get 3 dropouts, and it's only once. It's really awesome. Like 40 cars on track was impressive, but the rain just made it that much crazy. It made it chaotic, but it was a fun chaotic. It wasn't like a dreadful like chaotic, and it was using the new system that iRacing has, which is the spotty rain. You've heard of that, right, Jeff? The spotty.
Yeah, like
So
some
it's like
parts of the track and stuff.
right, but the problem is that there was so many cars on track that there's no there's no space to find because with racing in the rain, and I'll say this and we'll move on. With racing in the rain, stay off the race line. If you're on the
Yeah, that's
race
what I
line,
heard.
you're wrong. There's no grip on the race line. You cannot stop. You cannot turn. And it doesn't matter how hard you scream and cuss. The car's not going anywhere. It's going to go straight into a wall or into a car. So just, yeah, just slightly off the race line, not all the way off, but a little off the race line. Get on the brakes, and then you can kind of turn in. You can kind of finesse it. And once you learn how to do that, thankfully, I joined the practice and I was practicing for a full hour. And if you watch that, you can see how many times I spin the car around. But during the race, not a single spin around, not a single incident. I did bump a few cars like door to door, which is kind of normal, but it wasn't like a crash. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a light tap on a turn. You know what I mean? It's just racing incidents. So anyway, that was a ton of fun. Um, but I'm gonna give this next portion over to Jeff, and he's gonna cover something that he sent me that was really interesting, and it's actually iRacing and F1 related. So over to you, bud.
Yeah, so I forget what I was cruising, but I saw a text or a I think somebody did a screenshot of a tweet or something or whatever they call it on X nowadays. But anyways, it was a rumor that EA is gonna lose the F1 franchise next year. And I guess really, I mean, I've done a whole bunch of reading on this, and I'll summarize it really for one sentence: is the sales have went down. And by down, I got the little table in front of me. So from like the overtake, they put this thing all together. And in F1 2015, I believe that was the first year, They sold 1.4 million copies of F-115, if you will. That's unbelievable to
Right.
think that they sold that many F1. There was that many F1 fans. But so just to give it in perspective, and I'm going to go through these numbers fairly quick, just so you can understand the drop off in numbers. So
The
15,
aftermath.
yeah, 15 days, 1.4 million. In 1 year difference, they went to 389. What's that? Like a 1,000.
389,000.
Yeah. Like what's that? Like
Oh
I
my
don't even
god.
know. Like huge drop off.
That's a few 100%. Like
Yeah,
I don't even.
and I will caveat
Wow.
that I think I think a lot of people probably bought the game and they were like, well, maybe there wasn't a lot of updates, so they just like this one's good. I don't need to buy the next one because the next year went up to 500,000. But that's still 900,000 drop off from the
So,
previous year
okay.
or
So
from 2 years previous.
let's stop right there. So you said that the next year, which is F116, right?
16 is the second year the game was out. Yep, by EA.
Because I'm thinking Drive to Survive. So Drive to Survive came out in what, 2018?
Eh, I'm not the right person for this because honestly, I watched them all
I'll
in
look
one
this
year.
up. I'll look this up while you continue with that table. So
Okay. So they went from 1.4 to just under 400,000 to 500,000, and then they go drop in half from 500,000 in 17. In 18, they went to a quarter million, just about a quarter million in 19, and they get a big jump in 2020. And is this when like COVID happened was
no,
started?
so this is the I just found the answer here.
Okay.
And Drive to Survive aired on March 8th, 2019.
Okay, so 19, and then everybody watched Driver Survive. Oh, this F1 thing's awesome.
And then
Bought
COVID
the
happened.
game. Yep, and
And then it's
COVID.
like everybody's
Boom.
home now and they
Jumped up to
love the
1.2 million downloads. And then
easily.
they go 1.1. And then, listen, gang, here's the drop off. So from 2020 at 1.2, 21 to 1.1 million. And then it goes to 750,000 to 500,000. And F1 24, the newest game, at 134,000
Wow.
buys.
So that's like the all-time low?
Oh, all
All-time.
time low by like double or half. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, so think of this thing came out at 2015 at 1.4 million view downloads, and now it's at 130. So I mean, this is F1 basically saying, "Hey, we're gonna take our ball and go play somewhere else." And I'm gonna say what I maybe think everybody else is saying: good. Give it to iRacing. Give it to somebody else.
Bro, if iRacing gets rights, because they already have the the F1 okay, so the Formula cars that are on iRacing are amazing. And you know this, they're
Hmm.
amazing.
Yep.
Imagine a full grid with licensed cars that you can pick your oh my god, that would be a dream come true.
Because like really, the closest thing you get now is the W13, I think, and that you can go to like Trading Paint and download kind of pretty much everybody else's livery that you want, right? But
It's not updated
it's
though.
not updated. Yeah. I think that's what us like because the F124 is the Simcade, right? I don't think we're saying anything anybody doesn't already agree with. Um, just give it to somebody that has the passion behind it. I don't want to say
So
EA doesn't because their Madden and NCAA is awesome, right? I'm a big college football fan.
oh, I've
Shout out!
heard good things.
I was
Yeah.
actually in college football NCAA 2007 or eight. I was in it. I'm in it. I'm in the game. I bought the game just to give it to my son in like 10 years when he starts playing video games.
No way. I didn't
I
know
swear to
that.
God. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Not that that's like a
I'm
brag.
gonna
Humble.
stalk
That's
the
not even
hell
a
out of
humble
you,
brag,
bro.
but that's a
I'm
brag.
gonna
Um,
find you, bro.
yeah. So,
I'm gonna live
uh,
stream Jeff
yeah,
on the freaking NCAA. That's
yeah,
dude, that's impressive. How did I not know this about you? I'm finding this stuff about Jeff live on the show here. That's awesome. What do you
yeah.
mean,
Catching a football paid for my education. Who knew? So, but anyways,
bro? No wonder you're a big. It makes sense now. because I love soccer, and we've had this, little discussions about the differences. But this makes it a totally different thing. So, hey, that's what's up, dude. That's awesome.
So, but anyways,
Love it.
I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of happens in the next year. With what happens with the F1 franchise, EA, iRacing. I
Yeah,
mean, there's a number of things that could happen here. Not going to speculate. All I'll say is somebody that enjoys Formula is I hope it goes to somebody that has the passion in it, and that's not EA doesn't have the passion, but it just is like 24 was nothing. It wasn't an update. Like minuscule
I
steps forward.
refunded the game and
Did you?
never looked
I
back.
should have.
Yeah.
I just I haven't loaded it, and
I
I
mean,
don't
that's
know.
what I was gonna ask you, bro. It's like now that you have like this many hours in the iRacing, because it's like, and when I say this many hours, that's like I don't, it's a ton of hours.
I don't even want to know how many
Yeah,
hours
we're not
I've
looking at the hours.
spent.
We're not paying attention. But it would be nice to go back and jump in and just to compare to see where you came from, because that was one of your first titles, right? Correct? That was one of your it, it was one of the games that you were playing the most at the time,
Dude,
because he loves F1. Jeff is a F1. He's our F1 expert on the show.
that's what
He,
got me. Yeah, I mean, Drive to
yeah,
Survive started this thing in COVID, and the rest is history. I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean, you can see the
you build
F1.
a yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
built the
mean,
simulator because of Formula. That was how it started for you, right? I mean, it would be nice to go back and see if you still own the game, and you might as well go back and see the differences. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not going to last too long on track before you decide to turn that thing off. But and go back to
yeah,
iRacing, or Automobilista is another great sim
yeah,
for Formula. Like
it is.
very
Yeah,
good.
just not
And
a lot of multiplayer, but their AI
AC
is
is
pretty
another
good.
one.
Their
Soto
AI is
Corsa
pretty good.
AI is very, yeah, they're good. And if you want to like sometimes, if you want to chill out, just doing a casual race against AI and not be pressured to be on time, because now you have to be on time. You got to run to the rig and you have to be there at a specific time to join a race. Sometimes if you got a few minutes and it's not coinciding with the schedule, then you could jump into a sim. You could do that. And
Dude, that the Automobilista 2 is cool because you can drive like some of those older formulas where they have the
yeah,
sequential, and
yeah.
those things are a blast. It gives you new respect for those guys where they're driving a formula car with one hand on the wheel, and you're like, these guys are crazy.
They, let me tell you something. Those guys, if you put them behind the wheel of these new cars, forget about it. There's no comparison. They would look at the car and be like, "Oh, this is too easy. I'm gonna take this car and rip the hell out of it."
Yeah. You mean all I got to do is drive and little taps
These
on
guys
here or
got
there?
a clutch and shifting and banging gears. That's I can't. I don't know how the hell they did that. Like if you look at Senna's old like laps and going around the track in Monaco,
Bro, you
out of
saw
all,
that's
dude.
a crazy video. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You like I like get nervous sitting there. I'm like, watching. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah, like what's going through this guy's head? Like seriously. Like do you Oh my god,
He
yeah,
says,
we could
there's one of those. I was watching some video where he was like, he said he like was an out of body experience. He has like the lap record at Monaco or something. Is he's just,
Yeah, he has like this tunnel vision
yeah,
that
where he's
just
just
it's
in the
just him.
zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
it's cool.
him and nothing else. I mean, amazing. I mean, yeah, I mean, we're this podcast supports everybody. It's not just a hardcore sim. If your main sim is F124 and you enjoy F124, then play F124. I mean,
Amen,
I
brother.
that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If that's the game that's satisfying you, there's an esports with F124. There is competition out there to be held.
I was thinking to
Yeah.
your point, buddy. I see so many Instagram videos of F1 23, 24, right? And I feel like they all have the view above the halo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you spend all this money and effort to make a sim and then drive with that view? And then it was like, to your point, if that's what they like doing, then hey, have at it. I hope they're having the most fun they can possibly have. Like
right?
who am I to judge what they should and should be doing?
You're talking about the offset view on
No,
the
it's like where the yeah,
right
it's
above the
above.
halo.
Yeah, and they look down, you can see the halo, and you're like,
You know
you
what it
spent all this
is?
money for a simulator, and you're not simulating anything. But if they're having a good time, who am I?
It's a competitive
Yeah, advantage,
advantage.
sure,
Yeah.
100%. But if that's what they
But I
like doing,
rather
go for
me
it.
and you were different. We're enthusiasts. I rather have I'd rather not have the competitive edge and be surrounded by a fuselage and viewing the halo and just feeling like I'm in the car
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I
you
feel
saw my rig.
connected.
I built
Yeah.
the little, fuselage around me.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, dude. At some point we're gonna have to do some reveals or something
we
because
should do a little. Yeah, that'd be a great
at
idea for a
some
future
point
episode.
when we get things all cleaned up because rigs sometimes can have wires all over.
Yeah, they
It may
always
look
have right.
nice from this angle, but so there's different angles
Yeah,
that
if you
we
ever
don't
saw
want you to see.
on the other side. Yeah.
That it looks great the way it is, but
Yeah. All right,
so
buddy. What you got for the next topic here?
so for the next topic, so we're cutting it short on time. I'm gonna go over the lovely ecosystem, lovely dashboard, aka Constantinos, right? His latest and greatest of products have just received a massive update. And to top it off, he dropped a video on YouTube. You can check his YouTube out about him saying that he's going full time. So he quit his job. He quit his full time job to sim
And it
racing.
couldn't happen to a better dude. Couldn't happen to a better dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Dude is
We
so prideful of his work and really
right.
just enjoys what he does. Yeah.
The guy is the biggest. I mean, he's the biggest heart I know, man. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, like you hit him up, you message him, and he treats you like you guys know each other almost. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. He's very receptive. And if you're a gold, well, now it's released, and I'm pretty sure today, by the time you guys listen or view this episode, the stable version is out for paid members. But now he has a plugin that plugs into SimHub that now you can adjust all the settings, you can do everything on the fly, and you can actually visually see your dashboard changing. Before you had to edit like a text file and you had to restart SimHub, turn it back on, get on the track, see if you like it. I don't like it, turn stuff off, change. You know what I mean? So
Dude.
having this plugin and just flicking a switch on the things is amazing. A lot
Dude,
of us have been telling. Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
Jeff.
I mean, I was over your house earlier today, and I have a lot of family stuff going this week, so I hadn't been able to get in, but I swung by Jason's house earlier today, and you were showing me the user, basically like the GUI, right?
Yeah, GUI. Yeah,
And it is, there's no more find this buried file in your somewhere buried in
right.
your computer, and on line 328, delete this line and put in this random line of code. It's all right there. Hey,
Yeah,
whatever you want on your screen, type it in this box.
it's
Whatever color you want, finds it on this, pinwheel of colors. And that's what it's like. Remember when I was telling you, why can't it just be easy? Like, and you were
right.
like, you don't even know. You
You don't know
don't
how
even
we
know
got
how.
here, bro. You don't
And
know
I'm
how we
like,
got
this
here.
is exactly what I thought. I'm like, this is what it should be. Yeah.
Right.
So it's very nice. Very
So
nice.
he hinted at this release during our podcast how he was working on a major version. I don't know if you remember, Jeff.
I
He's like,
do.
you're gonna love version whatever it was, point 0.6, and that version is out. And it started off with the plugin and with some bug fixes, and then he updated all the the different products, the lovely products that he has to make it compatible with the plugin, to make it compatible with the plugin. But now he's saying this is kind of like a test phase. Once it goes through and we can squash all the little bugs, then he's going to start adding features and customization tools and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, so it's now's not it's like the best time to get into that. It's only like €2 to get started with him. and you get all of that stuff. You get the plugin, you get the dashboards, and yeah, you can customize it to your liking. It's really amazing, the work that he's doing over there. And now that he's full time, you can see now you're gonna see more updates, a lot more frequent because now he can a lot more time to the project. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So that's
I mean, I got my little banner that you can see. You probably can't see it, but on my DDU, it says like update available. And Jason always gives me shit that I never keep my stuff up to date.
yeah.
After we hang up from here, I'm going to jump in there, download it.
You might have to update a few things.
There
But
we go.
you know why I give him so much of that is because when he has an issue with his rig or whatever, I'm his friend. I like to help him out. Computers like sim racing, all this stuff. I'm walking him through it, and dude, Jeff, you've learned a lot. You even tell me the answer sometimes now. You're like, nah, go over here and click on that. I'm like, oh snap, okay, cool.
Dude,
So I
like,
mean, to, to,
first of all, I want to say thank you for a lot of, because like the other day, I deleted my graphics drivers. Like 10 months ago, I wouldn't even have dreamed of that. But
going
it
in a
was like,
safe mode
yeah,
and
I was like, I even told you, I was like, I gotta go get I gotta get a cocktail in me before I do this.
like, what's gonna happen? Is
I
my
was like,
machine gonna blow
hold
up,
my
dude?
beer, watch this shit. I jumped it and I was like, this isn't so bad. It wasn't terrible. But yeah, to your point, like it's cool just going down this sim racing, rabbit hole of just learning more about
Right. And that's what this
stuff than I
plugin
ever
is.
thought.
It's kind of like that. It's like the plugin was meant, its main purpose is to make it easier for us. Like, hey, now everything is controlled in one place. SimHub. You go to SimHub, it's right there. Click on it, add it to your favorites. You set it and you forget it. That's the whole thing that he's trying to like achieve with this new version. So yeah, man, I'm excited for the future because he's full time. So and yeah, I mean that's I can't wait for you to install it. And I will add this: the reason why that I tell Jeff, because I forgot to say this, uh, is to keep his stuff up to date. Is because that's one less step that I have to wait for him to do. So I'm like, hey, man, because what is the first thing I tell you, Jeff?
Is your
It,
stuff up to date? Yeah. Do you
no,
have
no,
any?
no.
Yeah.
Let's say it right. I tell you this:
Up,
is the shit up to date?
yeah.
Like, is the shit up to date? Yes.
Uh,
Are you sure? Yes.
I
Like,
do
okay.
try to figure this. I spent a couple good chunk of time trying to figure it out before I ask you, but a lot, regardless, is your shit up to date?
Yeah. Shit up to date. It's
And
good.
there's like a 5-minute pause before I text him back, and then it's like, yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, of course it is.
So yeah, so that way it kind of sometimes bugs are automatically squashed with updates, but don't get me, that's not perfect either, guys. So sometimes it be careful. If it's a if it's a motor update for your DDU, be extremely cautious with that because DDUs don't get many updates. And if it's working, what's the phrase, Jeff? If stuff's working,
If it ain't
what
work, I mean, if it's working, don't touch it. Don't even look at it. That's why
if it
if
ain't
it ain't
broke,
broken, don't fix it.
don't fix it.
I was even nervous about doing the 360 megahertz up or a hertz update
Yes.
for iRacing. I was like, I'm gonna wait for that to be out for a little bit before I do that update.
Well, here's the thing: when these types of devices, it's not like a Windows thing, right? It's a software. But when it's like your motor, the motor it goes into a what is it called? A bootloader. And if anything goes bad during that process, you can brick your motor, meaning it won't work no more. You have to send it back. And good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
So that's about it, Jeff. What we have today, what we got time for today, and hoping we have our third band back, Mr. Eric Kelly. So
Can't
shout
wait,
out to
man.
him.
Missed the dude.
Yeah. So is there anything else? Round table, just you and I.
No, I got dude, the next time I'm on the show, I think is gonna be a banger because I'll have the Singapore update,
Yeah.
and then I'll have a new piece of equipment in my greedy little
Oh
hands.
yes,
I can't
yes.
wait. Can't wait.
Do you want to reveal that, or do
I think
we?
everybody that's following this knows that I'm waiting
If you've
on
been listening, you'll know. You
it.
know
Yeah,
what it
and
is.
Soulpack has been awesome. I've been in communication with them about uh, some specs that I've requested on the wheel because I just have a little bit of preference over the wheel to layout, the stickers and buttons and stuff. They've been awesome. That sucker will be delivered while I'm in
And they're
Singapore.
hand built. You told me that is
Yeah,
insane.
super cool. That I was like, because I wanted the all black carbon, because I just don't like the colors. I just wanted, you can do the LED colors. I just wanted it clean black. And they're like, yeah, in 2 weeks we're building it for you. And I was like, that's kind of rad. It's kind of cool. Um,
It makes it more special, I think, because
and honestly, so somebody made a couple comments on the
yeah,
video when I was talking about it. They were like, oh, you should go with the Hyper P1 better wheel, and that might be true, dude. I kind of like the small boutique, like when somebody's gonna see my rig, they're like, oh, I've never seen this wheel before, because Solpec's a much smaller company than, was it is it GSI that makes the I
yeah,
can't remember, right?
GSI Gomez.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just is. It's a little different. It's, a much smaller
You
company.
know what? I respect that, Jeff, because you're not trying to be like everybody else. You're trying to have a something unique on your
Yeah,
rig that you
yeah.
come in and now that you know that it was made for you, it's kind of like you come home and you're like, oh yeah, that's my custom wheel. They built it for me to my spec, to my vision.
And
I
it's not
got
because we have a podcast, right? It's like I bought it before all this stuff, we started having the pod, not that we're any famous people. We just do this because we like talking about podcasts, but
I
um
hope so one day, but
yeah, someday
yeah.
maybe. But no, I just reached out and I was like, hey, bought it. I just, you know, don't put stickers on the layout and this and this. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Tell us where you want them. I'm not saying they're going to do this for everybody. I don't know. Being that they, built this one, they didn't have a black one, but
I'm really
do you
excited for
want them
you.
anywhere for you? I was like, just leave them off. I'll put them on. Can't wait. Sweet. And dude, fast feedback. I sent, and
So
they're in like, I don't even know where they're, it's made in Turkey or shipped out of Turkey, but I don't know where the people that are emailing,
Matt,
but it's a quick turnaround to email wise.
it could be some hired help maybe. But you know what? That's kind of crazy how
Their Discord is super active and super quick to get back to you and stuff.
now here's the thing that you guys should notice is that if you try to customize a GSI wheel and you tell them to put stickers on the wheel, they'll charge you $100 for that. Just if you don't believe me, go on the website, check it out. So that right there is telling me how much, how much of a passion they have for their company. I don't have GSI wheels. I don't hate on them. We don't. The show doesn't hate on them either.
No,
They
it wasn't that. It was more just a tip my hat to
right.
Soulpack. Like it just, I saw the wheel when this is what, I don't know how long I've been talking about you having to listen to me talk about this wheel. It's just like the design talks to me.
I
It
think
just,
it works
scratches
for
my
you.
itch. It looks
Yeah,
good. Um,
it's unique too, and then it has a SimHub plugin too.
yep.
The
Yep. It's
the
all
the
fully
Soul Pack.
compatible with SimHub. So I'm pumped. Can't wait.
So
Big things
you
coming.
can. I'm excited for you. You can use that. You can use that dashboard, or you can go to the lovely dashboard. You can bounce back and forth, what have you. And it's a 300 millimeter, which is versatile enough to be an. It's kind of a middle grounder, but everybody has their how do you say their own taste. My hands are not your hands.
Yeah.
My arms are not your arms. You know what I mean?
And I am going to fix this little arm. I came home from work one day
Oh, what
and one of
happened?
my
I just
it was like so sad. It had like snapped the little part where you clip in. So
mine's broke before.
Etsy.
So yeah, 3D printed.
Yep. I'll order another reason why you need to buy a 3D printer for us.
I know, man.
Because we got so much room.
I know. And Etsy needs like a credit card
I
rewards
know.
points,
I hear you,
please.
dude.
If you're watching, happily sponsored too by you if you want. Well, anyways, that's
Awesome,
all
dude.
that's all I have today. I don't really have anything else further to cover here. I just want to wish everybody a great start of your week. And also a big shout out to Vlad again for helping me out this week. A big shout out to Eric Kelly for attending the stream and failing to give me the gas numbers. Thank you so much. Miss you and hope to see you back here. And again, I will reiterate if you have any questions for Jeff, he's leaving to Singapore. Now's the time to send me an email, or send the show an email, not me. Send the show an email at the chicane podcast at gmail.com. Anything else that you have to cover, it doesn't have to be a question about the GP. Anything else you want to share with us on the show, same email. And with that, again, have a great start of your week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.